Hai kakak-kakakku dan abang-abangku, selamat datang di channel Hayati Jalan-Jalan. Kali ini Dede Hayati mewawancarai salah satu pengungsi asal Afghanistan bernama Hasan yang meninggalkan anak istrinya belasan tahun lalu karena konflik di Afghanistan. Menurut Hasan, di gedung milik pemerintah daerah ini menjadi tempat bernaung sekitar 100 pengungsi dari berbagai negara, termasuk belasan anak-anak. Untuk memenuhi kebutuhan sehari-hari, Hasan mengatakan para imigran ini ada yang bekerja di pasar dan ada yang membuat roti. Simak wawancara eksklusif Dede Hayati dengan Hasan ya, kakak-kakakku dan abang-abangku.
Used to be an office or military base.
Yeah.
It's called Excodim.
Excodim, yeah.
It's not for residential building. So there are some rooms very big, very large. There are some other rooms very small.
Okay.
Yeah, we have made some small rooms because of the privacies of the persons. For one person, it's not from plastic. If we count those all, maybe there are around
How many
50 to 60
people?
rooms.
Oh, 60 rooms in here.
Yeah,
So how many people?
100.
100 people.
Yeah, that including male, female.
How long they have been here?
5 years.
5 years, just like you.
Yeah, July 11,
Uh-huh.
2019.
From 29.
Yeah, 2019. July 11. It's 5 years and some days.
So can you tell me how they end up in here?
Do you mean that we
Yeah,
come here?
yeah. Mostly about the refugees in here.
The people who are living here, they were living independently without any support from any assistance from any organization or any government. They were living independently in different places of Bogor and Jakarta. But about 200 of them, they started protest in front of IDC here, Migration Detention Center, just at 500 meters away from us here, near them. They started protesting. Their demands were to be supported by the responsible organizations. But they stayed on the road in front of IDC for many months.
Yeah, I saw that earlier in the news.
Many
Yeah.
months. But unfortunately, no one took responsibility. Finally, they decided to go back to UNHCR office in Kebun Siri.
Yes, in Kebun Siri.
They started protesting there. So other people, maybe hundreds of people joined them, and there was a protest around 1,000 people gathered in July 10, 2019. And because it was too much people, the government and the international organizations like UNHCR and IM, they decided to place them somewhere because the roads were blocked. There was a big protest. They transferred these people here in this building.
Oh, okay.
There was 1,300 people in this building. These
1,000?
grounds were full of people. 1,300. The grounds were full of people. There were big tents around. People were living inside the tents. These places were they were full of people. But the UNHCR, in a meeting with the government, said that the UNHCR will find any alternative, any solution, sustainable solution for these people, and it should have been in a month.
In a month
Yeah,
from now.
from the day we were transferred here, July 11 to August 10, 2019. But they came here, they took assessment from all refugees and asylum
So there is
seekers.
an assessment.
Yeah, there was an assessment. In that assessment, only 400 of the people determined to be supported, assisted financially. The remaining were not. determined by UNHCR and partners, and they remained here. Those 400 people were taken out of this building, and when UNHCR saw that others remained here around 900 people, they started threatening the people, giving warning that we will empty this building, we will force you to leave this building, you should go, we will close this place. And we said that we have no other place to go.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want us to go or to leave this building, and you use force, we will go, but we will go back to Kabul City. You must find any solution, any alternative for this, and you can then go. And then UNHCR in August, from August 10 to August 30, they extended the time to remain in this building again, to assess again the people.
Until today.
Yeah, and they in 30 August 2019, they cut off water, food, everything.
Wow.
They even turned those lights, street lights, off, so that we leave this building. But because these people didn't have any place to go, they remained. They started protesting, demonstration, rallies, and after 1 year of protest, in July 2020, the government of Jakarta gave this building to us.
Oh, finally they give
Yeah,
it.
finally,
Yeah.
after 1 year of protest and demonstration, in 2020, well, you are aware of the COVID pandemic.
Yeah, the
It was
pandemic,
very
yes.
hard days. People were afraid of going outside. But we had a rally. We went from here to Kabul City on foot.
Really?
From here to Kabul City.
Wow, that's a long walk.
Yeah, about more than 220 people,
Yeah.
ladies, male, female, all together. Pregnant women were with us. We together went there. But I asked, as a representative of refugees, I was in that meeting. I asked them, how are the facilities? That building is only a building. It needs electricity,
Yes,
it needs
of
water.
course.
There was,
Yeah.
We did not have water. We did not have any electricity at that time. Take bath and also use toilet. Finally, the owner of those toilets even did not let us, because it was taking time. We were washing our
course,
clothes, and yeah, someone else were coming and they were taking bath maybe in 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But we were taking around at least 30 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes, and they were not allowing us to go. We were living in that situation. But UNHCR unfortunately left us behind here. They never come back here. They were always sending warning to us, you should leave this building. They did a lot of other things. They even violated human rights. Human rights should be protected, respected, fulfilled. That's not done. That's not done. If we go to the Indonesia's constitution, Article 28, human rights, I think it's everyone has the right to do everything, but unfortunately, we do not have the right to go to school, we do not have the right to work, we do not have the right to go to any other places. We cannot go to any port, maybe airport or somewhere else. These are the things that we cannot do, despite there are some rights written in the constitution, and there are some international treaties being signed and ratified by the government of Indonesia.
How these people make money for living?
These people cannot make money here.
So where do
There are some people that can they work illegally in black markets, just like that is also a kind of misuse of these people. They cannot get that salary that is being given to UNIS, Indonesian people, because they are refugee. So anyone can treat any however they want. Some of them, but that's illegal. It's not permitted by the government. Uh, Legally, we do not have the right to work here.
Yeah.
But not legally, but
Yeah. How do you survive? How these people survive? You know, to buy
yeah,
some food.
they're being supported by their family members, their friends, their relatives from outside.
So they send the money.
Yeah, they send the
to
money.
surviving here.
Yeah, from different countries. There are from three countries, mostly from Afghanistan, and there are 3 people from Pakistan, and also 1 from Iraq.
Are there new refugees lately?
There are some refugees and also asylum seekers.
Oh, asylum seekers.
You know, there is a difference between asylum seeker
Yeah,
and
yeah.
refugees. Asylum seekers are those who enters to some country, they seek asylum, but they should be interviewed by UNHCR or the immigration. But here in Indonesia, they should be interviewed by UNHCR. There is an interview called RSD, Refugee Status Determination Interview. When you are interviewed, you might have some evidence to be determined as refugee or be rejected. But unfortunately, here in Indonesia, UNHCR Indonesia kept the people around around 3,000 people as asylum seekers for 9 years. This is not the rule. An asylum seeker should be interviewed after they enter to some country and being registered. After 2 months of being registered, their cases should be put in the process of being interviewed. And until 24 months, they should get their result. Accepted or rejected, it doesn't matter. If they have evidence, enough evidence to be determined or being accepted as refugees, they can be accepted as refugees. If not, then they can be rejected. In 24 months, they should get the results. But unfortunately, this is not happening now.
Yeah, not happening.
I am one of those asylum seekers. Now it is 8.5 years. January 2016, now it is 8.5 years. I'm still an asylum seeker. I have never been interviewed by UNHCR.
And you cannot go back to.
You cannot go back. Yeah. And also when you are an asylum seeker, you are not fallen under the international protection,
Yeah.
international law protection. In these past 12 or 13 years, all their employees were the same all the years, maybe 2-3 people, sometimes less or more. But in 2014, in 2013, 2014, they interviewed around 2,000 to 3,000 people.
Okay.
They determined they were refugees, and some of them, if they did not have enough evidence, they rejected. But after 2015, October 2015, they could not interview 3,000 people.
They couldn't. Wow.
In 9 years,
Yeah.
they couldn't interview only 3,000 people. In 1 year, they did more than 3,000 with the same personnel, with the same employees, with the same human resource, with the same, not the same budget, with less budget even. Their budget in 2014, it was 10 million, not 9 million, or less than 10 million. But now it is 13 million. And last
13
year,
million.
30, yeah, 1-3, more than one. And this year, $13.5 million. In 2022, it was 18 million. With 18 million, and the same human resource as 2014, they could not interview 3,000 asylum seekers. But they did it in 1 year with the same personnel and 10 million half budget. This is what they say.
Yeah.
But if we
If you
calculate
think-
it,
yes.
analyze it,
Yeah.
we will find something different. This is what they say, but they have another policy. This is what they do. Yes.
So who pay the electricity in here? Who's paying?
We pay ourselves.
You pay yourself. Oh, okay.
Some assistants, as I said, that they sent us some flour, wheat flour,
Okay.
or something that, for example, wheat flour we cannot bake. All these people cannot bake. Only 2 people are baking bread. We give that flour, which is mine and all these people's. We give all of them to 1 person, 2 person. Then that 2 person sell that, and the money will go for the electricity. If we
What are they?
go to the asylum seeker means seeking asylum, seeking safety.
Yeah.
For them, it doesn't matter where. They want to live the rest of their lives in a place where they should feel peace. They should experience peace because their lives in Afghanistan or some other countries, such as Somali, Sudan, or where they have
Yeah.
come from, they experience war, conflict, persecution,
course.
discrimination, everything. They are tired of those things, and they left
Yeah, I
their
can
countries.
imagine that, yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy to leave your home.
Yeah,
it's not
I know.
easy. It's not a choice.
Yeah.
Therefore, they have come here. It doesn't matter now where. It can be Indonesia, if possible.
Yeah.
But I don't think because it needs a long process. First, there
Yeah,
should be
very process.
maybe another law should go to the. It has a long process. It should be voted by the representatives, and they should go to the president. I don't think it can happen now, or maybe in 1 or 2 years. Therefore, these people hope to be resettled to their countries, anywhere possible. They're after more than a decade living here, and you may be aware that 25 people committed suicide. There was a
Suicide?
7 or 8 failed attempts, and 17 people died. And there is research done by a group of people. Europe, I have the paper. I think I have sent to this.
Full page.
And said, yeah. And I have that paper with me. 70 people, we lost 70 people, they committed suicide because of this long process
Okay.
without having any
Jobs.
job, life,
Yeah.
children, female, male, or maybe any married, or
Yeah.
not having these things. So they request any humanitarian, any journalist, any authorities, any government official, any international organization to help them to take their hands and bring them out of this limbo. It's the only hope these people
Yeah.
and their wish to be taken out of this limbo. This is the only wish.
Meskipun belum meratifikasi Konvensi 1951 mengenai pengungsi, Peraturan Presiden Nomor 125 Tahun 2016 yang mengatur mengenai orang-orang asing yang mencari suaka dan perlindungan internasional di Indonesia dilakukan pendataan melalui pemeriksaan oleh petugas Rumah Detensi Imigrasi atau Rudenim. Ditjen Imigrasi melakukan koordinasi dengan Perserikatan Bangsa-Bangsa melalui kantor UNHCR di Indonesia dalam pencarian solusi para pengungsi. Hingga akhir Desember 2023, kebanyakan pengungsi di Indonesia datang dari Afghanistan sebanyak 48%, Myanmar 16% dan Somalia 9%. Jumlah pengungsi yang datang ke Indonesia setiap tahun dari tahun 2020 sampai tahun 2023 mengalami penurunan. Tahun 2023 pengungsi yang datang sekitar 12.295 pengungsi, 69% dewasa dan 29% anak-anak yang terdiri dari 28% wanita dan 72% pria. Para pengungsi akibat konflik ini pun hanya tinggal di penampungan sementara sampai menemukan solusi berikutnya dan dipindahkan ke penampungan-penampungan kota lain.
There is an UNHCR ID card given to us. That's not like national ID, but that's an ID. Yes, definitely. Oh, we do not have license. Our 50,000 is a license.
Your 50,000 is your license. Okay, so this is basically your office.
This is my room and
Okay. Oh, that's the reading room, yeah.
yeah, it's class like that. This is also class and can be anything. You can
Okay.
I stay here, I teach here, I study here, I read here.
Do you have the internet in here? So Wi-Fi.
And
You pay that too for the
Yeah.
Wi-Fi.
and I told you about the airway.
Yeah, the
Airway even stopped us to bring the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Didn't let us, didn't let the company to bring the Wi-Fi connection.
So how did you get the
I went to their office, this office. I told them that it's you are not, it's not your job, you not stop us. We will bring this connection.
What is your name? Aura.
Zahra.
Oh, Zahra.
Zahra.
Such a beautiful name. Your name is really beautiful, Zahra. How old are you? 8 years old. Your English is very good.
She can speak Chinese as well.
Oh yeah? Can you speak Mandarin? Like ni hao ma?
你好，我叫安，谢谢。1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10。
You're cute. And you're smart too. Okay. Is this your brother?
No.
No, your friend?
She is alone, only one.
What do you mean by alone? Like she's coming here alone?
No. It doesn't
Oh,
have
only
any-
one.
Yeah, does not have any system. problem.
Okay. Bye. We'll see you again, yeah? Maybe later after this, yeah? So those are your rooms too, yeah? Yeah, so many witches in here then. So finally the doctor.
dalam. Ayo ke depan yuk, kasih jajan yuk. Siapa namanya? Siapa? Kamal. Ya udah depan yuk, kasih jajan yuk. Halo. Halo, Sir. Hasan yang merupakan web developer ini berharap agar dirinya segera dikirim ke negara ketiga sehingga anak dan istrinya ikut mendapat kewarganegaraan dan kemerdekaan.
Can we shoot them when they're playing?
Oh, you should ask them. You should ask for your
What not you?
Radra magya film should be from your neck.
Can we shoot the way you play? No? Oh, they're not. Oh, okay.
Make it bigger. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Thank you. So what are you playing? What are you playing? The game. What is the name? The okay. So who's winning? Like Ludo.
Yeah.
Like Ludo, right? Ludo in here.